Hi there, Andy Murdoch here. Just wanted to tell you about latest changes to SyrphBoard, which allows for the submission and review of records. So many of you will have been entering records since the start of the year and will have a list that looks something like this with multiple sessions. And for each of those sessions, you get the individual observations. What we've added to this particular screen now is the ability at the bottom to click submit. So when you click submit and then confirm with the OK button, then those records are now available to the determiners for review. So they currently have a status which is submitted. So you see we've added a new column to the end that shows those records are now submitted and awaiting review, essentially. Until the determiners get hold of those records, you can then set them back to make draft again. So the records are by default in draft mode until you submit, and again that status should update. Yeah, so so you can tell what status the record's in just by looking for that final column and whether this submit is available. But the idea is to go through and for all of the sessions to click submit. Now obviously that will be quite tedious to do that retrospectively for the whole year. So we've added this function at the top that allows you to submit all of your records. But in future, as we're going through, entering information, we can just click as we enter them once we're happy that those records are accurate. So for now, initially, when we're going to be submitting an entire year, as it would be the case now, it might be worth just going through and checking them to make sure that they're all accurate and there's no mistakes and errors. And you may even choose to export that to make that a little bit easier. But longer term, what we want to do is to provide functionality that will help you automatically identify those issues as you enter them, and also as a final check. But we haven't implemented all of that yet. So for now, just check that you're happy with the records before you submit them all. So that's the first thing. So we'll click on Submit All, and then that makes those records available to the determiners. I also wanted to show you what that looks like from the likes of Roger, because Roger's going to be doing the bulk of the verification, but I guess in future other people may get involved as well. So they have a new tab. We won't see this, most users won't see this, but there's a new determination tab. If they click on that, then that shows all of the records that are requiring determination and all users that are have submitted records. So obviously when we release this functionality, other people's names will appear in this list, but for now it's just Yanis and myself. And then the idea here is that we can batch accept certain records. So if it's if the observation has a Facebook link and a recognized determiner, then the idea is that they'll get automatically wave through because they've already been checked in a sense. So for the likes of Roger, he'll click on this button, click OK, and that will remove records from the list that needs to be determined. Similarly, if there's certain things that are only identified to genus levels like Sphaerophoria, then they can be a batch accepted as well because they may not be that controversial. So again, click OK, reduces the records down further. And then equally, you can also go in and look for easy to identify species where, we may choose to just automatically accept some of those because of knowledge of the user base of the SyrphBoard system. Once you get lower though in numbers, you might start to go into individuals and sort of question individual records. So again here, some of these are harder to identify than others. Others, may be happy to on an individual level wave through based on the knowledge of the observer. So again, getting down to fewer and fewer records, and at that point you can also go in to the individual level records and start to interact with them. So you can click accept or query and so on. He may choose to ask a question. So you have a photo, might be one, and then basically that's then available, and you can flag that as a query. And so that was then in the list of queried record against my name. Now, the beauty of that from our point of view now is that when we go back into the the records on our record, our tab, we should see that that query is available. So we can see that Roger's asked a question. In this case, it's me because I'm logged in as me, but I would then reply, yes, I have emailed it. And we can add further functionality in the future that would allow you to upload a photo and whatnot as well. So that's one way. And then obviously once Roger's happy, you can then accept that record. And then when we go back into our screen now, our individual records, as I was saying earlier, some of them will be set to submitted status still because they haven't been checked, but you'll start to see that other records have already been accepted and are now locked. So obviously that's a really useful way to sort of have a bit of interaction between them, and we can obviously improve that functionality over time, but hopefully we'll be able to deal with a lot of the records in SyrphBoard without the need to sort of to create too much extra traffic on Facebook and so on. It can be done by direct emails or whatnot. But as I say, we can add further to that in future. And then the idea is Roger gradually works his way until he gets this down to 0, maybe, and then he can export them out. And just as with the other the other functionality that you have, this is now formatted for a way that can be then imported into the Hoverfly recording scheme database. So that's how your records will get out of the system into the Hoverfly recording scheme database. And in future we can perhaps even set up a sort of direct feed, but for now that's how it's going to work. So do look out for that functionality as it appears on the system. We're going to release it in the next few days. If you've got any questions, let us know, and we'll probably we'll see how we get on. But I think the idea is once you've submitted all your records, Roger and I are going to do a pass in the new year to try and work through the verification together. And then once that's set up, that will be the way that it happens. So we've kind of gone that next step further of getting the data in and now being able to verify them and get them out again. So yeah, that's it for now. Keep an eye out and get in touch if you've got any issues. Right, hope you all have a great Christmas. Take care. Bye.